Yeah.
It's not opening. I tried again, even just right now. It's not opening. So I don't know if it's something you can look into. But I've not reached there. I'm still in the 10. My fire is low. But I just checked it
See
out.
that the image
Yeah, you can see it on the screen,
the
sir.
image link is, yeah, the image link is broken. Okay. We'll fix that.
I think from Wednesday downwards, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for bringing that to our notice.
You're
So
welcome, sir.
hopefully in the next 4 months, the main Designgate app should be live. So we are still working on it. And when we work on it, yes. So because this particular one we are using now is just like a concept test, right? And we are still building the main app. So the main app will come live, and it's actually what we are cooking. It's just cooking the old national anthem. It's so cooking you go hot, right? Um, so why I share these stories with you guys, so that you know that as a product designer, right, you don't just have to sit and wait till and wait and look for it. If I see anybody as a product designer or even a graphic designer that says they are looking for a job or they don't have, I just feel like they're a little bit either lazy or tired. So I'm very serious. Okay. Um, so what I wanted to inform you guys before we proceed is, you can see the the daily challenge is proceeding in different levels. So right now we are in this day 17, but I'll update this thing so that you can clearly see the challenges. So right now you can see we've entered replicating stuff. So I think the last batch of the daily UI challenge is for you to solve a problem. So you fix a UI, and also you get to, design it to a specific style, because you need to get used to some design patterns and design styles so that you are able to put your thoughts together whenever you are working on an app. Okay. So in the as usual, we'll go with the questions and answer section, and I'll introduce you guys to one other topic, which is like the last topic. Okay, second to the last topic on the UX journey, on the UX theory, right? Because by next week we'll be learning how to conduct interviews, create surveys, and all those stuffs. Because immediately after that, right? Remember the first month we practically learned how to use Figma and some basic principles of design. We took a look at laws and principles of design. And in this second month, we've been practicing. Basically, we've been practicing, because one of the things that make people to finish and not good at what they are doing is that they don't practice all the time. So we've been practicing with this daily challenge. And while practicing, we've been doing some theoretical UX. Okay, we've been doing some theoretical UX. Now, in the third month, immediately after we are done with this, after your 1 week break, we have 3 weeks, right? Because the 1 month is the 1 week break, and then we have 3 weeks to work on a project, an end-to-end project. So that means we are going to pick a project, we work, we set up, if the has any form of research that will, any form of primary research, we work together, set up the questions together. We're able to send out the form. And once we get responses, we are able to analyze it together, and we're able to pick out from it together. So we are working on it together. Then after that, we'll go ahead and design it and test it together, so that you can get like a real life experience of how to execute a project from beginning to end. So right now we are still on, if you notice, we still have this heuristic audit assignment. I'm on YouTube, so I can't share what I've been working on. So I've not been able to look at that design, but at least we still have how many days? We still have up until, up until Friday, up until, okay, great. So we still have up until Saturday to finalize that design. Now go today. I don't confuse. Okay, so we still have up until Saturday to finalize that time. So once I'm done with it, like I said, once I'm done with it, I'm going to share it so that you can do your own version, right? You can do your own version. Alongside whatever you can do your own version. But you can see how we're able to break down those things. So that's the major thing. You should be able to break down these things so that you know exactly what you are doing. If you once you know exactly what you are doing, the design parts you can take it slow. But the most important thing at this stage is to see data or to see a design and make sense of it. If you guys also notice, from this week going, we have not been giving constant feedback, like detailed feedback the way we used to. Reason is because at this stage, we now want you to be able to detect your mistake. We've done heuristic audit. You should know what to look out for. I've told you guys what to always look out for when you are done with your design, okay? So you should always be the first critic of your design. It's a big problem if you can't criticize your own design and know where the mistake is. It's a big problem. So right now, and I've told you one of the trick I use. One of the trick I use is when I finish a design, I just go out and I just go and do something else, then come back, look at that design as if na person send them to me to see the error. Because if you don't look at it that way, you will never see your error. You will never see your error. Now your design, you'll be biased because you've put in a lot of time, right? But when you look at it from the perspective of someone sending it for you to critique, all of you now that are forming that you don't know you don't know what's wrong with your design. If I send you Eddie's design and say, what is wrong with this Eddie's design? You will have so much to say. Trust me, you are going to have you have so much to say. So once you are done with your design, step out, come back, look at it as if it's someone you paid someone to design it and they sent it to you. Look at it that way. You begin to see those things that you wouldn't see if you are looking at it like I designed it. So this week going forward, that's what we've been trying to do, right? Because during your interview or when you are trying to chat someone up on Twitter to tell them that you can help them do their Web3 project, Mr. Wills will not be there to say, I increase the size to 14. No, I will not be there, okay? So I will not be there, exactly. So you need to, based on all these feedbacks you've received, you need to start implementing them. If you've forgotten, even the standard, especially at this stage, the good thing is a lot of you now, at this point, there are some obvious mistakes you no longer make in your design. But some of you that were singing the old national anthem even before Tinubu approved it, you people are yet to identify when there's a mistake in your design, which is very, very bad, right? So if you are those type of people, if you are still in that class, please book a clarity call. Book a clarity call, okay? Book a clarity call. So discuss one-on-one. So let's start with some questions. So I will still work on that design and send it to you guys, but we'll just look at it again today because with designs, any day you look at it, you are likely going to see some issues you can solve or some ideas, okay, that you can fix. So someone is here. Let me bring the person in. Okay. So any questions so far? Any questions so far? If you're having any question, please ask so that we can resolve it and move to what we have for today. Okay, Eddie.
All right, sir. But my question is not related to what we have for today, but it's still UI UX though.
Okay.
Okay, so I was thinking, like now that we're learning, yeah, is it okay or is there any way for us to start looking for how to get small clients, at least to be testing our hands, small? Is there, or should we just hold on for now, or I don't know. So I've been thinking about that for like 2 days now. All those $5 an hour, all those small Google to go. So do we hold on for now, or what do we do? Thank you.
Anyway, I've never seen any dollar rejected. Okay. So it depends on your SAPA level. If you still have enough reserve in your account, you can hold on. But personally, I will not advise you to hold on. Okay. If you notice, of these designs we've been doing, especially this daily challenge, is so that you can have something, because immediately after the daily challenge, we are going to tell you to, we are going, immediately after the daily challenge, we are going to have one-on-one meeting with everyone. There will be an appointment, you book an appointment. We are going to select 10 to 15 of your designs, okay? And you start sharing them online. That's why I told you guys, you don't have to put the whatever on your design, because some of you now see today is day 17, some of you now still day 10. So if you are doing day 1, day 2, your village people will laugh at you. So let it just be that you are posting consistently, okay? That way you can start getting these jobs. And like I keep telling you guys, learn anything. I don't know if it applies to everybody, but for me, the best way I learn is to learn on the job. Is to learn on the job, right? Because when you are learning and there is no form of loss, you will just take it just like that. Okay, we just take it just like that. When there is no form of loss, you just take it just like that, which is wrong. Okay, which is wrong. And like I said, for most of the people that have been attending, that are doing Designgate, we've had a lot of people that are already getting gigs. Okay, and the good thing about you getting gigs while you are, because I know the reason why you ask this is you might be thinking you are not ready yet. Well, the good news is if you get your gig right now, there is a high chance of me helping you on that gig so that you deliver a perfect job. And I'm not supposed to, okay, I will not show this. I wanted to show you some people that have already gotten gigs and we already, helping them, because like I said again, the best way to learn is on the job. You see all these things we are learning, just like you saw when we opened this, that job on from the job from Upwork. You can see how it is. That is until you get that kind of job and you find out that they paid you 10K and you don't chop the 10K, and if you not deliver, you go vomit that 10K. You might not really have that urge to do any design. So please, if you have any design, okay, if you have any design, make sure you start it right away. Like I said, we have people that have gotten gigs and we help them out, even both with writing the proposals, and things like that. So always get any money. That's why I told you guys, start telling your neighbors that you do website design. Okay, app design might come in later, but right now, okay, right now, start telling people you do web design. Okay, and if you see someone that wants to do app, tell them you do app design too. Okay, because that's basically your job as a UI UX designer and a product designer. So start telling your church people when you get the job, if you don't know what to charge, that is why you are in this 3 months academy. You can send a DM. Based on your skill level, we can tell you what to charge, right? And if you don't know how to arrange a proposal, send it in, because these are things we'll probably do by the time you are done with your capstone project. But we can't ask you to keep waiting. Now, the university, then they wait till you finish school before you start looking for work. In fact, even students now no care again. A lot of students now, they are doing a lot of things, selling wig, content creation, IT, restaurant business, and everything while in school, because right now, Sapa no send. If you are ready to finish school, you will still finish the job, you won't see. So please and please start putting out the words there. Okay, start putting out the words there. You can do it. You can do it. If you don't do a real job, wahala go dey. I personally, I keep telling you guys, I personally started as a graphic designer, yeah, and a brand identity developer. So while I was doing that, I noticed that some of my clients, by the time I finish designing, they'll be like, I need a website. That time websites are still hot thing. Not now that it's everybody that wants it. So that time it was not everybody. So when they say I need a website, I'll be like, okay, I had this my friends. They're like 2 guys. So if I don't send to that one, I'll send to another person. So they design it for me, and we share the money. Like I said, I've never seen any dollar that I didn't like. So one thing led to another. I got a 9 to 5. Although I'm not a 9 to 5 person, but I got that 9 to 5. I was pouched from somewhere I used to work. I got the 9 to 5. So because I've been doing brand identity and web design now, so that was my first time submitting a CV. I hardly submit CVs. I usually get a lot of job through recommendation. So in that CV, I went. There's a place I wrote web design. So I wrote web design now based on the projects I've done because I executed web design. So I didn't know that they actually went through the CV. And the first task I was given was to build a website for that company. I was so sad because if the company had not employed me, I would probably charge like 500K to do that website. But here I am. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't like 9 to 5. So here I am, 9 to 5. I have to do the website, and there's no way I could pay those guys to do it. For how much salary? So at that moment, I had to do the website. That was when I learned how to design and build a website by myself, all by myself. I did it all by myself. And that was because there was something I was going to lose if I was unable to execute that. So yeah, I'm just saying this so that you understand that if you know you are losing your morale right now, you are losing your fire. One of the best ways to ignite it is to get a gig, even if it's 20K. The kind fire where the client, not this one that I will send feedback. Some of you will be feeling sad. The kind fire, the client, a real client will put on your bomb, you will deliver. You will deliver. So if you have anyone, like I said, right now, don't go and start looking for abroad jobs. Yes, abroad job will come. Go to your mosque, go to your church, right? Tell them you design websites and even if they ask, can you develop it? Tell them yes. Okay, tell them yes. But after you finish with Designgate, if you still cannot develop, tell them no. I'm saying tell them yes now because we'll help you to do it. Okay. I think for stream one, some of them that got a job before they finished, it was now used as part of their project, as part of their capstone project. So once you do something like this, we'll find a way to balance it so that you are not doing work, doing daily UI challenge, doing this one. You will just faint on top of the 20K or 50K. So yeah, start getting it, okay? So start getting it. Any other question? Okay, Francis David.
So mine is just simple. I know you've answered it before, but please just help me reiterate. What's the difference between a website and a web app? That's just my question, sir. Thank you.
Web apps, they require authentication and they allow the users to perform specific function on the app. So by authentication, I mean on the web app, you can sign in, right? You can perform actions, and when you come back tomorrow, those actions you performed, they are still there. Meanwhile, most websites are basically informational. Consider a website where you go, you read news. That's all you do. It's a website. A website, you go to a business. Every business needs a website, right? Those are websites. Okay. Any business you go to, you check information, you get information, you gather information. These are websites. If you go to any bank right now, the front end of the bank, they are all websites. Okay. I showed you guys this thing last time. Let's check UBA. Okay. If you go to uba.com, is a website. You see this ubagroup.com. It's a website. So this is a website. It's the informational part. A website is made up of web pages, right? It's the informational part. It gives you information. There is no form of authentication on it, right? You are not executing any task at all. But immediately you decide, okay, let me accept. Immediately decide you want to do internet banking and you want to go into personal. Notice what happens on the URL on the far left, the bottom left corner. Watch what it's saying. Watch the address there. You can see it's ubagroup.com. right? This is the website. Every other thing you see here is the informational part, right? You read about them, you learn about them, you know their services and all what they do, right? But immediately you are about to enter a site that needs authentication, whereby you need to sign in, verify your account, or create your account, or perform actions like maybe send money to people, or comment, or like, or do anything that have to be saved on the server, so that when you log back next time, you are going to see it. That becomes a web app. So immediately watch this thing. Immediately I go to personal, you can see it is now taking me to a web app, which is the ibank.ubagroup.com. But when you're on this website as a normal person, when you click here, you won't even know that you are no longer on like UBA website. In fact, they have redirected you to an app. So it will just be a seamless experience. Okay. So anything that requires authentication is a web app, right? But websites are just mainly informational. Are we together? Is it clearer now?
It's clear, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Like that's what we are working on. It's a web app, because you find out that the managers will need to sign in, the staff will need to sign in, do some authentication and perform some tasks. The task they are expected to see it again or let it update. Anytime they log back, it updates and gives them their latest version. That is a web app. But the websites mostly static, informational. Okay. While an app is a one that has platform, apps do have platform. They don't run on a browser. So web apps, okay, web apps basically run on browsers. So that's another thing you should know. The difference between website and web apps. Web apps, they run on browsers. They don't run outside the browser. Because although we've been saying web app, all this web app and website, don't forget UI UX designers also design desktop apps. When you see a lot of apps that work on desktop, okay, UI UX designers also work on those. So there are people that are focused on designing website apps. You can decide, okay, let me redesign the Windows music streaming experience. Okay, that one now is platform specific. That's on the Windows operating system. Those ones are now apps. Then the one we call apps, mobile apps, right? Mobile apps are now the one that, either iOS or Android. Those ones are mobile apps. But at the end of the day, they are apps, right? But web apps are a little bit different, because they open, irrespective of the platform, they open on a browser, because browsers are a little bit platform independent. So your Mozilla Firefox, they will open on either Mac or or either what's it called? Either Windows, right? So if you design a web app, anybody can open it. But if you design an app for Windows or for Android, you can't open it on iOS or Mac. So you must design for separate platform. But a lot of people go for web apps, and a lot of people, to save money, they build their mobile app using web app technologies. If you've ever noticed all those apps that when you download without internet, you can't operate them. A lot of them are web apps. Okay. Abasaba.
So sorry, please. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm very good, but from the last statement you made, I'm finding it a bit conflicting. So you say web app runs on
Browser.
browsers.
Yes.
Does that mean websites doesn't run on browsers?
No, now website to run on browsers now. This, you see, this browser is a technology on its own, right? Anything that has to do with www. So the websites, okay, the the World Wide Web is not the internet. Hope you know that one.
Yes, yes.
The World Wide Web is not the internet. The World Wide Web is basically a service, just like email or
Mm,
VoIP. Do you know VoIP? Voice over Internet Protocol.
yes,
These
sir.
are all services built on top of the internet. Now, without browsers, you cannot view any
Web.
web page.
Yes.
Without browsers, you can't view them. So all these apps, both website and web app, that are specifically coded in such a way that they work on browsers. Okay. But you see, mobile apps are a little bit platform independent. It's either going to be under the Android ecosystem or the Apple ecosystem. If you design one and try to put it on the other one, it won't work. But on browsers, if you design for a particular browser, whether like all these websites you see, this ubagroup.com, I opened it right now on Chrome. If I go on Firefox and open it,
it will still open.
If I go on, yes, if I go on Internet Explorer and open it, as long as it's a browser, I will still access it. So what I'm saying is that some people, to cut down costs, or some people that don't have much money, instead of, if they want to build like a mobile version of their app, instead of building for Android and iOS, they just build it on inside a browser. So they might get like Chrome. They might get like the Chrome browser and build their app on top. So when you download the app, it's just like another version of Chrome where the app is running on. I get it, but they will have their own icon and all these things, and you can download them on. So there's a way they package it. That one is on the tech part, but most of them are not like native apps. We talked about this thing at the beginning of the class. Okay, so it's not something difficult. So you right now tell people you can design websites. Okay, and if the person saying a web, they won't do app, let the person to bring it. You can also do it. Okay, Abasiaba Okon.
Thank you, sir.
You raised your hand. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
My question is, someone talked something about high and low fidelity files. So I want to but I did some research, but I was kind of confused. I want to know more on high and low fidelity file and when we can use each of them. Thank you.
Low fidelity files, they are just wireframes or block frames. That's low fidelity. Okay, so if you are designing an app, by the time you are done with your app, okay, I give you a free advice. That on YouTube since. Anyway, low fidelity designs are just your basic wireframes, okay? Your basic wireframes. And that means sometimes frame of block frames, okay? Probably the original content is not on top yet, or you have not added pictures and all the whole content that needs to be there. High fidelity is like the one that looks close to the final output. That's just how to put it, okay? The one that looks close to that. So all the daily challenge people have been doing, they are all high fidelity. Now, the references we give you, those ones are low fidelity. Do you understand it now?
Okay, sir, I get you now. I get. Thank you.
Yes, but it's 2024. Like I keep saying, I mainly do sketch and high fidelity. Those low fidelity, except they pay you money and you have time to spend on do those ones. But right now, people just go to the high thing and then test. Because time no day. They don't change national anthem within 2 days. So you can't spend so much time working on an app. Ugo Ben, what's your question?
Yeah, good evening, sir. What I want to ask based on apps you get. So there are some applications that you open that when you don't have when you don't have an internet connection, there will be some kind of an error page displaying that it seems to not to be connected to internet or something. So is it a must that you must design that error page when you are doing some kind of app design?
No, it's a must. Sorry, it's not a must. Hire another designer to do it for you. Just imagine. Don't be a designer. You will design everything. You will design all the edge cases. That is what differentiates. That's what shows that, okay, you have experience. So all those error pages, all those 404, all those no internet, you have to design all of them, because now what you do now the programmer go use coder So you are designing it. If there is any error, any form of error, or any form of edge cases, you are the designer, you design all those screens. Okay. So now you the design. Like I said, in most projects, now one designer they design everything. Most projects. So everything are the one designing. Okay. Who raised their hands? Francis.
So sorry, this one just came in now from Ugo Ben's question. I have friends that are into web design and all that, and I want to ask how how do they build an app before, because I was just showing a friend of mine some of the things we are working on and all that. So he was saying that he has web design experience, and he was saying that even just this button that I just did within few minutes now, that if we are to code it, it takes it takes this amount of hours. So I want to ask how before UI design, how do these guys picture out a website, because they are coding, they are programming, just like you said, they are programming what we design. Anything we design is what they are going to bring into life. So before now, how do websites run? Like, how do they build those things and eventually bring it into life without UI design? That's my question. Because it seems that it's everything to the very detail of what we design that they are just bringing into life, just that they are using code. So that's my question.
Well, that's your question is the reason why we have UI UX as a profession. Before, now these developers and engineers that were in charge of design as well, and it didn't work out well. This is Google in 1998. Okay, you can see now developers did this one. So with developers, they don't care. Their own is let it work. So if you see all those medical applications, right? All those medical applications, before button full everywhere. On the UI, you see nothing but buttons. And if you forget where those buttons is located, someone can actually die, right? So at first, when tech started, technology was mainly not on the UI aspect. Now, this some of you are laughing. Don't forget when computers started first. Okay, okay, I've actually closed what I was doing. I've closed what I was doing because I was doing something first. This is the interface used to operate computers before. Sure, you people know. Eh? Now this interface and they used to operate computer before. There
Yes,
was
sir.
like UI. So
Now, is that
technology started,
English or Spanish?
which thing?
The whole screen. How did they work?
No, no, from here you can access anything you want. Are you getting it?
Jesus.
From here you can access anything you want. So engineers started tech. So that's why even the CEO of Apple said design is not really how it looks, but how it works. Because before we started having visual design, they've been designing softwares to make sure it works. Are you getting it? To make sure it is functional and it works. So as time goes on, they discover that people really need to this thing. We need to bring it to normal and everyday people to use. Because actually from here you can actually work faster. You can actually work faster from here than your normal GUI, that GUI. GUI simply means graphical user interface. You can actually work faster if you know how to use it too, right? But someone decided, you know what? Let's now build a GUI, right? Let's build a GUI. And before you know, we now have the GUI, graphical user interface. We started having Windows and the rest. At that time, that was the beginning of what you call human-computer interaction, right? Human-computer interaction. I'm basically telling you, like guys, like a history of what you call human-centered design. That's HUD, okay, human-centered design. So from there, human-centered interaction started happening. They were trying to make the computer more useful, even based from the engineering side and also on the design and the user side. Because on the engineering side, they started moving from things like assembly language, which is machine language. They started moving to higher abstractions like C, right? From C, sorry, I'm going into a little bit of engineering. From C, they started going into things like Python, PHP, and the rest. Then on the visual aspect, they started incorporating more user-friendly UI, right? So this is Google, the Google you know today. This used to be Google in 1998. I'm sure even some of you can design better than this. See how everything there. See the link, they no care. See the space in between the subscribe and the and your email. So sometimes if you are looking at it, it's just funny, right? But you can always come back here, Web Design Museum, and then have a good laugh. Then choke, even Facebook. So those engineers, what they are telling you basically is like from your question, that time they just know what works. When they know what the problem they want to solve, they go ahead and code it. They don't care about the whole user experience stuff. Even if it means that the button is going to cover the entire screen, as long as it's working, that is what they want. I get it. But over time, with people like Apple actually changed what it means to design a software. So with people like Apple was huge on design, right? That's visual designs at the end of the day. So Apple was one of those companies that started to understand that no, that to actually design softwares for humans, you really need to consider the humans you are designing for. So this guy that we shout about today, this Nelson Norman, okay, Nelson Norman. So he was part of the early designers at Apple. This one.
I think it's Don Norman.
Okay, see the man. Yeah, his name is his full name. See the man. Oh God. Anyway, he was part of the early designers at Apple. So they were part of the people that set out all the principles, we learned today and we followed. Okay, so yeah, so that was how design started coming in. And immediately design was separated from engineers. Engineers now had more time to think of the coding part, while designers think of the design part to make it more design. So designers basically took the development, the whole concept, right? The concept part from the engineers. So engineers were now more worried about how to bring something to life. Are you getting it? So you can see 1998, 1999, we got here. 1999, we got here. At least they've understood that links no suppose full everywhere. In 2000, we got here. Okay. Now they are now considering what does the user want. You can see from early 2000. So this UI UX we are doing today, most of them started early 2000. It was it in 2000 that the term UI UX design was formally finalized, right? And you have 2001, you can see everything is getting better. 2002, some of you are still in nursery 3, you can see now they've added more functionality. They don't mix everything again. You have images, you have this, and 2003, and you can see the growth. You can see the growth, everything looking nice. And this was the era of flat design. 2015 ushered in flat design, and you can see how everything looks more nice. And up till we have 2024. Okay, so you can go to this website, search for different sites, and then so that's why sometimes when some of you design and your design looks like something coming out from 2010 or 2001, it's totally not a bad thing. It's just that you are no longer living in that era, unfortunately. So you need to do better. Okay. Any other question so that we can proceed? So you can see where we are. 2020. Everything started looking nice, you know. So you can go and use this app. Check Facebook as well. You will laugh. Right? Any other question so we can proceed? We just have 3 minutes for the question session.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, so on the development part, but right now it's 2024. May they stop lying. It's not that difficult to code a bot. That's why we have tools like Figma, right? So tools like Figma, if you design any button and let's say the developer not too savvy, they can just go and inspect the elements. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Okay. So let's assume you design this button and the developer knows sabi how to do it. They just switch to developer and they are able to design it. Like this button we did here. Okay. So like this button we did here, if they switch to developer mode, they can see the code. You can see the code. So you can see if they want the tailwind on, they can get it right here. You can see all the padding and all the sizing and everything. Yeah. But it's not that it's also easy, but they should not bamboozle you. Okay. So that's why if you're a designer at some point, you need to understand coding as a designer, especially if you are doing gigs, so that you don't collect a gig and developer collect all the money with English. They'll tell you, oh, this thing we need to get React, Python, and PHP. You say, Jesus Christ, take all the money. So all these developers, if you are not careful, they'll bamboozle you. That's why I went to learn programming for designers. So I have all the knowledge when it comes to programming. I can look at a code and know what it does, and I also can suggest, but I just can't sit down and start this. And I get easily bored and tired doing that.
Sir, will you also teach us how to code?
No, we're not the teacher to code for here. We are not doing that. You want, no, it's just 3 months. It's just 3 months. Some of you read accounting for 4 or 5 years in university and you still know sabi account. Some of you read medicine. Now 3 months you won't use learn. I better go. We know they do like that for here. Okay. I'm just trying to open my presentation. It's still trying to open. So okay, who is there? Eddie.
All right, sir. I have a small question. So, what's the
Okay.
big difference between like coding or developing and using apps like WordPress? What's the, because I don't know. It feels like when people build websites with WordPress, animations are there, everything is there, and you can host it. So, what's the difference between that and developing or coding? I don't really get it. Thank you.
With WordPress, you develop what WordPress allows you to do. With coding, you can do
Yeah,
anything you want.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you,
That's
sir.
freedom. Yes, but here is the thing. If your neighbor or anybody, if a business comes to you and say they need a website, maybe they need a website for flight booking, or they need a website for their business, or they need an e-commerce website where people can buy and come and sell things. There is no need coding it. You use those platforms. You use WordPress. You use Webflow. You use Joomla, right? To
Okay,
build
sir.
it. Within 2-3 weeks, 1 month max, you are done. Are you getting it?
Yes,
But
sir.
the advantage is that you as a UI UX designer, you can actually build out the design first. And then knowing the constraint of those platforms before you're going to add something that you cannot do. So you build it
Okay.
out. Yes, you build it out and it is done. Right? But when they are, imagine launching something new, or imagine launching a specific app with some specific features that you might not be able to achieve using those platforms. Okay. So that is when you build a custom app.
Oh, wow. Makes sense.
Yes, I can't hear again. Oh.
And right now, self, for me, what I've been doing lately, self, with most of my job, even I'm just pitying some of my developer friends. Although themselves, they also say they are pitying me because there's a huge war between the developer community and design community right now. Two of them, they use IC themselves. It's been long. Most of my developer friends reached out to me to say, Godswill, I have this project, help me design. And it has also been long, me too. I reached out to them to say, I have this, help me program or help me code. So there's this huge war going, going on between the two communities. Before used to be friends. Okay. Let me show you guys something. So there's this project I worked on. I was working on it, and at a point, I needed to integrate this project. Where is it? At a point, I needed to integrate this project with the website I'm building. Let me show you guys. So normally, this is something I would have met with a developer friend. So it was something I was doing on WordPress, but I needed to develop something. Okay. Okay. Edit. Okay. Okay. So I'm just showing us this so you can see that now I needed to develop something, a plugin that I can use on that website because I needed something custom since it was not available on WordPress. This was something I would have reached out to my developer friends to help me do. But you can see I was able to do it all on ChatGPT. And it coded everything. I was just telling it what I wanted. I'll ask it what it needs to get it done. It tells me, I'll give it, and then it also codes it for me. And by the end of the day, I had my plugin. This is something I would have spent like maybe extra 400 or 500K, but I
Wow.
pocketed everything. But then it is not wow, because them too now, a lot of the developers now, sometimes instead of calling a UI UX designer for a website project, they have other softwares. Well, they can just go and get their frameworks like Bootstrap, like Tailwind, all those front ends. They are even said there are templates now they can just buy for $20, $60, or $70, and then they'll tell you can go. I don't do the design myself. So there's this huge war going on between developers and designers. So while people are building tech to make coding easier for designers, another part of people are also building things to make design easier for engineers. But at the end of the day, there's always meeting points where everyone meets, and we are still building. That meeting point we never see. So that's why if you look at right now, there's this thing they call the sudden rise of UX engineers, right? So these are people that do UI UX, but not just doing UI UX, but they can also code or develop what they designed. So these 3 months is not the months where you do all these things. Like I said, I've been doing this thing for like 7 years. So when you also see me speak a little bit on development, coding and the rest, it's because I've had some experiences, real life experiences, working with developers and also looking into codes. Okay. So don't think after 3 months you are going to now know. After these 3 months, like I said, as a UI UX designer, the most important skill you need to develop right now that you must develop is that ability to create, come up with solutions. Okay. I'm actually rendering a video and taking so much space. So you come up with these solutions. Once you come up with the solutions, you come up with the flow, because people literally expect you to do all these designs, okay, to design the solution while the programmers come in and code it. I'm waiting for this presentation to open. Let me just refresh because it has stopped. Let me refresh. So now, reason why sometimes I give you guys this broad idea is so that you know what to expect as a UI UX designer. It's important to have some of these informations So it will also help in your own communication as well. So you don't just go and be bamboozle you and be saying so coming back home. But make sure you make friends with developers. They will give you gifts. Some of them will give you gifts. Don't go and be making friends with fellow designers. Designers they live for money. So the likelihood of them giving you gifts is small. So I know most of the gigs I've gotten from fellow creatives were from developers. Before a designer will give you a job, it's only when they are choked with the job, right? But developers will always reach out and say, let's collaborate on this project, let's collaborate on this project. So even your capstone project, if you have like a good idea based on your project, if you are given a project and you actually like that project, you can start looking for maybe someone doing ALX. Let the person become friends with the person so that if you finish designing, the person can actually code it. Before you know, two of you might start a company. So please don't forget, always look higher than where you are. Always do that. 9 to 5 should be your last resort. It shouldn't be your first option, because those 9 to 5, then Sabi look for people with 60 years experience that are 20 years old. Make sure I started. I'm just trying to start this presentation. I don't know why Figma is not loading it properly. So it can't be 95 for Nigeria. So just make sure you get your hands, you are busy, so that when 9 to 5 comes, you carry it with your full chest, okay? So just make sure you are getting your hands busy all the time, all the time. You should be designing every day for the next 3 months so that you can get the best out of this training. I think if it doesn't open, I might just do the presentation direct from Figma. As if this presentation doesn't open. I just do direct from Figma. Okay. As I don't threaten them, you see, everybody they fear threats. As I don't threaten them now, and say another option there, you don't open. So we want to take a look at product types, so typical problems and solutions. It's important you understand this so that you get used to some of these things and know exactly what you are solving. Because most of the time, when we tell people, UI UX designers, that you are solving problems, they think these problems are family problems or spiritual and extramarital problems. So so what type of problems are you likely going to be solving, so that if you have solution to these problems, you can actually come up with them, right? So this is like an overview. Different companies might have different problems they want to solve, okay? So let's take a look at some major types of problems and solutions. Let's take a look at types of products, okay? So we have different types of products in general. Like these are the main ones where you are going to see jobs, okay? Because there are some industries that are a little bit difficult to break into, okay? So when you finish these 3 months, don't go and start applying to Google and Facebook, except you visited Ndaboski himself and he gave you Dandita, or he gave you Lefase Pare, so you can try that. But why I'm saying that, it's not like they are all this. Even sometimes if you look at some Google design, you still see some error. But just that, you know, some of these big companies, they work mainly based on recommendations. Okay? So if you have that recommendation, that is awesome. But how many are there? They're not even plenty. They're not reach 20. All these big organizations, they're not reach 20. But you know the ones that are very plenty, they are those these small businesses scattered all over the world, and they need your services, okay? So these are the type of products you are likely going to get a job in and you start working. One of them, different types of product, we have e-commerce and browsing, okay? E-commerce and browsing. And we have social media and messaging, okay? We also have dashboard and data design. Data design is also huge. So if you learn how to design dashboards, you are going to likely work with a lot of data analysts, or data scientists. When they come up with their solution, they can just call you to help them design their dashboards. Okay, and when you design it, when they see the UI and they like it, they can actually now take it to their own software and try recreating that dashboard. So dashboards and data design, then you have media, and then you have the most popular one, which is B2B and B2C. Okay, so you need to understand how these things work as a UI UX designer. Okay, although this is a little bit of product design, but we included it so that you can have an idea of how these things work. Okay, Bilki Gadba.
Okay, when you say media as in like movie streaming apps, something like that?
Yes, news apps and things like that. Yeah. So B2B and B2C, very important. Okay, these are companies or products that are offered from business to business, while B2C is business to consumers. So you should know this, you should be conversant with these things so that don't go and put it in your CV that you are conversant, you design for B2B, you design B2B applications. They can't ask you how then they work, or they ask you to do B2B, explain. Don't tell them, say you need charging. Joshua.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, evening.
So I saw the list of products and I wanted to ask, like, how about the Web3 products? I don't think there's anything like that here, or is that something that's for a special group of designers? I don't know.
No, Web3 products is an umbrella term. If you check those Web3 products, some of them are providing some financial services, some are providing still social media and messaging services, some are providing B2B services, some are providing B2C services.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
those are like top level category. Okay, so let's proceed. So e-commerce and browsing, these are basically platforms or websites or applications that facilitate online transaction, allowing users to browse, search for, and purchase products or services. Example is Amazon, an online marketplace where user can blah, 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 blah. So these are basically e-commerce and products. So once you are done with this class, you should know how an e-commerce platform works. And that is why we gave you guys that flow, so that in case you are applying for an e-commerce job or to an e-commerce company or an agency that is more interested in designing experiences for e-commerce businesses, you should at least know the basic flows, like from adding product to cart, checking out, editing your cart. You should know those basic flows. We pasted all of them in on the platform. How many of you saw it on the platform? Raise up your hand. Come on, I read that. Yes, Francis, go ahead.
I just meant I saw it too. That's all.
Okay, you saw it. Okay, good. So please try and read it because this thing is. Okay. Well done. Please make sure you read it, okay? Because they will give you that knowledge you need, the theoretical knowledge, because we've talked about flows, and that's just what I want to buttress, and that's why we brought out this topic right now, okay? Now, when you want to work in an e-commerce or browsing on a browsing product, they might have some business goals, okay? So you as a UI UX designer, most of your design is likely going to be tailored around these goals, okay? One of the goals for most e-commerce and browsing business will be to increase sales and revenue through online transactions. So make sure you are taking note of these things, and any other time you've forgotten some of this, I need it, you can rewatch the tutorials, okay? Because your design, one thing you want to do with your design by the time we get to presentation is on your design, you don't just say designing of music player app. But if you say design of music player app, and so what? Not only you don't design music player app, what did you achieve while designing the music player app? So if you are designing an e-commerce app or an e-commerce whatever, there are things you should know. Example, you might say you design this to help, increase conversion rates. Okay, you might say hero section optimization to increase conversion rates. Are you getting it? So you need to understand some of these terminologies. It's very, very important. So that's why we're having this class. So this is like the business part of this. And okay, I'm trying to see where okay, good. So some of the goals for most e-commerce and browsing sites include increasing sales and revenue through online transaction. They also have improved user engagement and retention. So your design, what features or how did you design it in order to help with user engagement and retention? So you can see the thinking part that I said is the most important for you to develop now. Okay, so if you are working with an e-commerce product, these are some of the things they want to see your design address. Some of the goals, the business goals, they want to see your design address. Okay, user engagement and retention could be a form of, you could include a form of gamification into your UX, into your e-commerce product. Example of gamification might be, you might introduce a system whereby when people purchase something, they gain points, right? They purchase something, they gain points, and they purchase something, they gain points, and later they can use that point to pay for something, maybe to pay for to get a discount, right? You might also introduce something like you might introduce a feature that maybe when someone purchases something on an e-commerce product. Now that's why I say sometimes it's not just the looks. Now imagine you design an e-commerce app, and then on the checkout, after checking out on the success page, you added something like coupon to get anyone you recommend 5%. Do you know that thing alone, during an interview, they ask you, why did you add that there? It might just be a simple text. They will ask you, why did you add coupon to get a friend, or maybe get 5% off, and your I don't just know how to put it right now, but you are like, inside your design, there's a place you added that if the person should use this code and send to their friend, and when their friend purchases, they can get like 5% or 2%. Now, when you do something like that, someone will look at it and be like, this is actually a nice idea, because for the business, this will mean free referral, because this is something that will make people come back more. Or imagine someone finished buying something, and you now tell them you designed something that you came up with the idea and said, okay, immediately you finish buying, they will now tell you get 2% off on your next purchase with this code. You find out that the person, even if the person don't want to buy any other thing from that website, because of that 2% they've gotten, they are able to come back. So this some of the features. But I not say you go design something, say we are rendering our services free of charge. Make sure you think it through, right? Then we also have enhancing customer satisfaction and loyalty. Okay, enhancing customer satisfaction and loyalty. What can you design? What feature can you think of and design around an e-commerce product that can help enhance customer satisfaction and loyalty? Now you design these things as a UI UX designer. You find out what users are complaining about, and you are able to design something to solve that problem. You also look at expand market reach and acquire new customers. Like I said, this one is a little bit closer to product designers. So what features are you able to, think of or design to help expand the market reach and also acquire new customers? Now, example of this, how can a designer do this? As a designer, you might say, okay, this company, this e-commerce company, based on the fact that they are about to open an office or open a branch in Ghana or open a branch in US, you decided to redesign the UI to appeal to a more global audience. That is how you come into this expanding market reach. I don't know if I'm making sense. Okay, because if a product is in a if they've designed a product and they're trying to move to a new market, you can actually change the look as a designer. You might actually decide, okay, let me redesign this to be more appealing to the global audience or to that market we are venturing into. So this could be your goal for that design, your business goal for that design. Then you also have optimize conversion rate and reduce cart abandonment. What can you design around cart abandonment and also conversion rate, right? Some of the easiest way to increase conversion rate might be to remove some unnecessary steps during checkout. Are you getting it? These are some of the features you could introduce. So how do you come up with some of these features? It's basically listening to what customers are saying and also looking at some known conventions of what you already have out there. Okay. Now, what are some of the challenges and problems? Okay, like we just mentioned, some of the problems are high cart abandonment rates, poor user engagement and conversion rate, inefficient navigation, leading to difficulty in finding products. This is another big problem on e-commerce website. There are some e-commerce websites you go to, you don't know where to start from to look for whatever you are looking for. So lack of trust in payment security. Okay, now lack of trust in payment security. What are some of the feasible solutions that you might do? Implementing a simplified checkout process to reduce cart abandonment. Like we say, removing some unnecessary flows that does not add to the business goals or objectives. Okay, optimizing product listing with clear descriptions and images. So as a UI UX designer, you should also know things a little about things like SEO and the rest. Having the knowledge is what will actually differentiate you, because when you're having a design interview, if everybody is just focused on design, if your discussion enter a little bit about things like SEO, making sure that products are well described, they will know that, oh, this person can actually work better with our marketing team because he understands some linguas in marketing, right? But if you are just purely Figma guy, it's only if you are the only one available that they'll listen to you. Don't forget, I told you guys last time that as a designer, you should tend towards being a generalist than just one person, one Figma. Nobody needs you, right? Even Figma will not hire you if not only Figma you sorry. Then you have easy website navigation through intuitive categorization. And so you can actually enter a website, an e-commerce website, and you find out that they didn't categorize things well, or the way they've categorized things is not really working. You can decide to see if you can rehash the whole navigation. And that is where people do things like cart sorting and tree testing. Like I said, they are not technical. If you go to Maze, if you rearrange it, you can use Maze to run the test, a cart sorting test. So based on how you think it should be grouped, you can give it to people to ask them, do you think this makes sense? They'll answer yes or no, and they'll tell you how they would rather regroup it. From that alone, you gather insights on how to better build a better navigation. It is not rocket science. Okay. Ensure secure payment gateways and display trust signal such as SSL certificate and customer reviews. So this is how. So let's assume as a designer now, how do you implement this? So maybe on your payment page now. So if you are designing your payment page, instead of just telling the person, the usual payment page you see on a lot of dribble design is usually the name, the card detail, the CVV, and then the checkout. Now, knowing this now, trying to improve people's trust. Since it's a new e-commerce business, you can now put like secured by Paystack. If it's in Nigeria, if you under your design, just look for somewhere and put secured by, you put that Paystack logo. That alone, you can now, when you are explaining that design to someone, you can now tell them that to increase customers' lack of trust and in payment security, that you have indicated that this payment is secured by Paystack. I get it, because someone reaching there, seeing that design and seeing that Paystack, it will increase their confidence. They will know that, oh, so I'm actually using Paystack for this. So if you notice, when we also started Designgate, okay, there's a reason why we were not like receiving payments on our website direct. When you click on payment, it takes you to Paystack. One of the reasons why we do that is because we noticed that most people in fact, a lot of people, even this Stream 3, I know someone that said they paid and they thought it was scam. They were shocked when the training started. But I don't blame them, right? But that is what you as a designer, you are solving. And I'm showing you practicals where you could solve this, okay? You could even display the Komodo SSL certificate. This one works very well on websites to show the person that their data is being protected. SSL is basically all the key. When you visit the website, that key where they here, okay, it shows this is it. Connection is secured. So this thing, so you can showcase it. So you find out that by doing this, nothing on your screen, no element of design on your screen is going to be a waste. They should all mean something. Okay. So let's take a look at the next one. What if you are working on a social media messaging platform? Okay. Social media messaging platforms enable users to create and share content with others and engage in online conversation. This is their primary goal, to create and share content and connect with others and engage in online conversation. Example, Facebook. Why? Let's take a look at some of the business goals of most social media and messaging products, so that when you are designing, you have these things in mind. One is to increase user engagement and interaction with the platform. When it comes to social media and messaging, content is not king. Attention is king. All of them are looking for attention. In fact, this generation, a lot of people are going to go poor, not because they didn't work hard, but because they made someone else money with their own attention. There was a very scary TED talk I watched. Was it last year or this year? I can't remember. Where the man was analyzing this generation's screen time. Okay, and I'll advise you to go and watch it so that you can take your life more serious. The man analyzed screen time in this generation, and it turns out that if you actually live up to like 80 years, do you know that the time you have right now to plan your life and all the money you are likely to make, reach, was it 200 hours? So I can't I can't remember the exact number. Was it like just like 2 or 3 years in total? I can't remember the exact number. But do you know what ate the numbers? It was screen time, the amount of time you spend on screens, on social media, right? On social media, the amount of time you spend on social media. That's why after I watched that video, I had to activate my screen activity so that anytime I spend more than 10 minutes at a stretch on any social media, it locks me off. So I can go and do something responsible with my life. So it's very important, okay? Except if you are not running business on all these things, others will use you to run their own business. You see all these comedians you see online, they make you happy, you laugh. A lot of them will keep acting poor man joke, and you look and laugh. That's your time. Now they use the build mansion for the entire city, right? It will surprise you to know that a lot of people until now actually think Sabinus is a very poor, unfortunate man. And if they even ask to raise for funds, they will even send their 1K, not knowing that he is extremely rich. Okay, so
I don't think so. I don't think so.
He's
I
very
don't.
rich.
It's
He's
very
very
people
rich.
know. People know, sir.
He is very rich. But some people think he's not rich, But they wear that they are the same clothes and come and make you laugh. Okay. 2 hours, you did TikTok. Continue. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that you, as the UI UX designer, you are the person. If you are working with a social media messaging app, you are the one to design those products to make people waste their time on it. Because with social media app, they are big on retention. The more users stay on the platform, the more money they make. So can you come up with a solution that will literally make people stick with that particular product? Okay. There is also the problem with there's also the problem with growing the user base and attract new customer, monetizing the platform. So as a UI UX designer, you could be called in to design something around a way to, maybe the products might be already monetized, but maybe because of the way they design it, people don't care about the monetization feature. So can you come around and redesign that whole experience? Okay, so that's that. Enhancing user retention to foster community building, collect and leverage user data for targeted advertising and personalization. So these are some of the business goals. Now, the major problem, some of the problems most of these apps face, they include information overload leading to user fatigue, right? This one I'm currently experiencing with Netflix. I open Netflix, the small time I have to watch movie, I go use them, they look for movie where I go watch. And then after month's end, they collect my over 6K for only looking for movies that I watch, not actually watching any movie. Every time I enter Netflix, I'm spending it looking for what to watch. And I've not had time for them. There was a time I wanted to redesign the whole experience, but I'm looking for money right now. If they employ me, we can look into that. But that's actually a case study you could also look into if you know you are having the same problem with me, right? One way I think is just, I still don't know how it fits into their business plan. One way I think I can actually redesign this thing, Netflix, to do it is, first of all, I no one see movies where I don't watch when I'm looking for new movies to watch. Sometimes they will just repackage the cover of the movie, show you, you will think say, only for you to click it and say, oh, I don't watch this movie. That is one of, because sometimes seeing those movies you've watched is just show me the one where I want, new ones. Let me watch. Stop showing me things that I've watched. But like I said, probably they might have a specific reason why they are doing it like that. But if I'm to redesign it, I'll make sure there's a place I'll add videos you've watched, or kind of find a way to separate them for you. So that let it be that when you are going that direction, you just want to go and rewatch. Because yes, you can always rewatch movies that you've watched. I remember how many times I watched Money Heist a number of times. In fact, it was so unhealthy to rewatch, but I keep watching it. Then there's this other Nigerian movie that even if you tell me now that let me watch it again, I'll watch it. And that is that Funke Akindele movie. I can't remember the name, that school settings kind of movie, that school setting movie where that person wins scholarship. I've forgotten the name. But I really like that movie and I can watch it forever and ever and ever and ever. Right? So that's one thing. So another thing is difficulty in managing and organizing conversations. So with social media, difficulty in managing and organizing conversation, privacy concern regarding data security. Now, these are things you could design. For instance, now, how many of us remember on WhatsApp, when WhatsApp web came out newly? Okay, I'm trying to give you this scenario so you can see how design plays into the system. So sometimes when you look at this problem, a lot of people look at it from the engineering part, but also let's also look at it from the design part, because we are designers. Okay, now remember, how many of you remember when WhatsApp web came out? All you need to do to connect to your WhatsApp on the web is to visit web.whatsapp.com. It generates a code for you. Then you use your phone, you go to your phone, you say connect, and then you scan. And immediately you scan, your WhatsApp appears on that laptop. Hope you remember that. Now, do you know that in as much as they said, yes, they have these two, they have this authentication, they added all the tech and the rest. In terms of design, there was not enough data security and personal privacy security, because there were lots of cases, especially with relationship people, where you go just come out, make you bath. Your husband or your wife or your boyfriend will just carry your phone, enter your WhatsApp, open your laptop, just enter, Papa, connect, drop your phone back. Eh? You go there, the chat. The person they watch your chat for their laptop, and you know you don't know when it's connected, right? So user security was not considered in designing that. But how did they design solve that problem? By simply asking you to enter your code, that is your phone lock, before it will connect to WhatsApp web. Just that one step have saved a lot of relationships. So now when you now carry the phone, mama, you know, I'm going to reach person chat, bang bang, log in. You now drop the phone. And you come online and say, leave your husband phone. No, they're not going to understand because you did mission impossible. That is why you are now advocating. You will know the 10 points. Okay, so you can see how some of these problems presented here, how a simple design solution can actually solve it. This is what you are being employed to think of and to solve. Are we together? So most of the time, stop looking at it from an engineering perspective. What can you do with design? We all remember when iPhones, they recently deleted, it's just there. When someone goes to the recently deleted, they will see your recently deleted, and everybody knows what people delete recently, right? But today, they've helped you by adding a lock to it. So if you go recently deleted, they'll say, yeah, wait till you want to see. Yeah, put passcode. Let's be sure now you get, you won't go see waiting, you don't delete. Right? So these are all part of things you should consider as a designer. So that when you are designing, this should be your thought processes. Are you getting it? So some solution, utilize algorithms to personalize content, implement, don't forget, UX designers. There are UX designers that don't design. But understanding this thing, so when you know that, oh, these people are finding it difficult, the information is too much, you can recommend what? Utilizing algorithm to personalize content. That does not mean you must design a screen. This one now is for the engineering team to take care of, because you as the UX designers, you have studied the user pain points and noticed that there's information overload. So you can recommend what? The algorithm. You can recommend a better way that the engineers can code the algorithm to be able to personalize content. Are you getting it? Sorry, I don't know. A neighbor of mine, I don't know. The kind of rice they are cooking like this. The aroma full everywhere. Okay. Now, like I said, under privacy, prioritize data privacy and offer transparent privacy settings. Okay. Now, for the maintaining user and engagement and missed competition, encourage user engagement through interactive content. So let's take a look at the next one so we can round up. Dashboard and data designs. Dashboard are visual representation of data that provides users with insight and analytics to make informed decisions. Now, what are some of the example is Google Analytics. Okay. What are some of the business goals? Some of the business goals is providing actionable insight and analytics to inform decision making. So that means anytime we are designing a dashboard, you should know that one of the things you should be clear about is how to make sure that on the dashboard, you are able to provide what? Actionable insights. Just like this particular one we are doing, this performance tab we are doing. On the dashboard, we are going to do it in such a way that immediately you enter the dashboard, you see the number of tasks. You see the number of tasks that have been completed, the ones that have not been completed. Are you getting? Seeing that gives you this actionable insights into what's happening within the system. So it's very, very important. Okay. So we have the next one, which is improving operational efficiency and productivity, enhance data visualization for better understanding and interpretation. When you have large amounts of data, you could design something that could help with the word visualization for better understanding and what interpretation. Increase user adoption and satisfaction with the platform. Enable users to track performance metric and KPIs. So KPIs simply means key performance indicators, right? It could be anything. Whatever the user set as their what key performance indicators. Whatever you are designing, you should be able to show them how to track those performances. Okay. Some challenges. One, this is the biggest one. Cluttered interface with overwhelming data. Okay. Now, how can you solve that? Design clean and intuitive interfaces. Okay. There's also lack of clarity in data visualization. Like some of you, when we say design that chart, okay, designing that chart. Some of you, I'm looking at your chart, I don't know what to say. Is gift here. Some of you, I'm looking at your chart, I don't know what to say. So we just design one part. You find out that all these things are just doing part by part. It's so that you don't get tired, because if we say use one day to design dashboard, we are just going to be deceiving you. Okay, it's not realistic. Okay, you need more time. So that's why we are just picking a part of it. So inability to identify key insight quickly. There are some dashboards you look at, you don't know what is what. So instead, you can implement interactive features like drill down functionalities, limited customization option for different user needs. So one of the things that might separate your own design from another person's design is me, I design dashboard. I design them. Your own, you design the dashboard finish, you add a feature that allows users to exactly determine what will be on each section of their dashboard. Then if they ask you, you can say that you design it to increase what users customization, or allow users to set the preferences of what they want to see, giving users that freedom. Okay. Now, what about media? So media platform deliver content such as news, entertainment, multimedia to audiences through various channels. Example, Netflix. Now, what are the business goals? Their business goal is to deliver high quality content to attract and retain audiences, increase viewer engagement and time spent on platform, very important, monetize content through advertising, subscription, or pay-per-view models, expand content offering and partnership to diversify revenue, protect intellectual property, and combat piracy to preserve revenue. What are the features you could design around all these things? Some problem, slow loading times affecting users' experience. Solution, optimize media files for faster load time. Let's start with Eddie. Eddie that will come and send us 10 gig of PNG so that we can check his design, whether it needs feedback. So that by the time Eddie finishes this 30 days UI challenge, I go don spend 500 MB downloading Eddie's design. All in the name of he wants it clearer. The truth is, Eddie, those PNG you sent, they can never be clearer than they are. If you want, export it at 100x. As long as I'm opening it on this either my iPhone or my Redmi phone, it will not be clearer. There's something called DPI and PPI. It will not be clearer. So PPI is pixel per inch. So what you need to notice is this. What you want to notice is this. What we are doing is not for print. It is only when you are designing for print that you say the higher the quality, the higher the size, not even the higher the size, the higher the DPI. That is dots per inch, because that's for printing. The higher the DPI, the better the quality. Okay? Continue, Mr. Francis. So the higher the DPI, the better in print. But when it comes to mobile, you see this screen size, now the size be that. Now the size. Okay? Now the size. Now, why is it that sometimes when you finish your design on Figma, if you take it to Instagram, it starts looking blurry? That is because you went and exported a 19 MB file, picture file, and sent it to Instagram that you are not paying kobo for. Do you know what Instagram does? Instagram is not there to waste money or their server space. So they have a limit to what they can take. So when you upload your images, their machine crunches it down. So if you don't, that's why anytime you want to design for Instagram, make sure you use the correct Instagram size. And that is that 1080 by 1080. But although we've increased, you can do X2 because now people use better phones that has higher resolutions. Okay? But if you don't reach X5, X5, in fact, from X3 is for large screens. For your mobile phone, X1, X2 is okay. Okay? At X1 and at X2 is okay. So again, but after exporting, you still need to what? Optimize it. Yes, so as we started using better phones, that is why WhatsApp now made that option so that you can choose if you want to send HD, okay, so that they will preserve it. And you notice nowadays, you know, WhatsApp changed the way medias are downloaded on their platform, I think last year, okay. So nowadays, when you save a media, it goes to that person's phone. It does not go to WhatsApp server most of the time. That's why if you lost your phone right now and you try restoring your chats, if you are trying to restore the one from WhatsApp, it might not include images and videos, except you are backing it up manually on your Google Drive or your other devices. And those ones, anytime you are backing it up on those ones, they will include those medias for you. Okay. So number one, ensure responsive design for seamless content display. Implement robust copyright protection measures and also explore alternative revenue streams. So you can actually say, well, I'm a product designer. I like this product I've been using, but let me create a design. I'm embarking on a design to see how this product can be monetized. Example, let's say which services is very free online. Okay, how many of you know WinRAR? WinRAR, you can go and use this as a case study, okay? Can you redesign that WinRAR interface to help them get more money from people because it's literally free? Or can you find a way to make WinRAR, design it in such a way that you can give it more features that will make people upgrade to use the better version of WinRAR, but then they shouldn't lose out on the normal free version of that people use it for. Okay, that WinRAR is one of the best software in the whole world. It's free, right? It's free, but it's a very powerful tool. Without WinRAR, the world will go blind. Yeah, so can you redesign the interface to make it better? And also to make them, can you design in such a way that people can get more money out of it? Can you introduce something to WinRAR? Okay, not the main software for it. Is there anything you can design? So if you want, this actually the kind of project that if you work on and post on Twitter, you will not be begging people, help me share, help me repost, help me share, help me repost. You are begging people to help you share and repost because what you design is just basic. But a lot of people know WinRAR. A lot of people know the WinRAR interface. If you actually design something cool and you present it on Twitter, people will like and share and comment without you begging them, except if you know fine. But even at that, people will still comment and say it's not fine. So when you are posting it, you can post it with a pinch of humility by asking, how did I do? Please let me know your opinion. So these are some interfaces you can actually redesign, okay? Let's take a look at B2B versus business to B2C. So B2B products are goods or services sold from one business to another business, while B2C products are sold directly to consumers. Now, English, I don't speak. Hope people will understand it because I'm moving on because of time. But if you don't understand, you can raise up your hand and ask. So B2B products, these are goods and services sold from one business to another, While B2C are sold from businesses directly to consumers or customers. So examples of B2B, they are like Salesforce, okay? Now, like I said, don't always depend on those big companies when you are done. Visit different websites, all those websites, okay? Sometimes it might not even be on LinkedIn. One thing I do, like anytime I'm looking for projects, and this is practical that I'm telling you guys now, okay? One thing I do, I can just type real estate websites in Germany or real estate websites in Romania. I'm not too much of I don't like where people don't choke. I don't like where people don't choke. I'm not supposed to be saying this because we're on YouTube, but if you're on YouTube, here the information you can get it. Now, people don't choke for US, people don't choke for UK because everybody wants US, UK. Forgetting that there are other countries. All this, if you go to Europe, all these other countries in Europe, you go to Google, type maybe a SaaS company in those countries. When you search for it, you go to their website. On every website, you will always see where they wrote openings or join the team. Those are the places you want. Don't always wait on LinkedIn. Don't wait for LinkedIn. Don't wait on all these job platforms, okay? Go to those websites, search for them, and when you see, you can apply from there. Now, if you even have time and on your hand, you can take 1 or 2 pages on that particular site, conduct a heuristic audit on it, redesign it, send that report in, and also send in your CV. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you must do this for all businesses. These are just little tips. For me, what I mostly do, since I'm not looking for 9 to 5, when I search for all those businesses, I can send them proposal. I'm always hoping to see the ones with ugly websites. They suit me. When I see ugly websites, I'm happy because I know I stand more chance, of convincing them to upgrade their websites. Are you getting it? If you see some in the UK too, that's fine. If you see some in the US, that's fine. So make sure you write to them. Okay. So B2B platforms, these people, they will give you lots. These are the places that you see more jobs. In fact, if you get a job in a B2B or B2C company, like all these SaaS platforms, that's the best job you will enjoy because you will not work too much, but you earn much. But that does not mean you will not work. Now, people when they work for this SaaS company, they are the ones that have time to do a day in the life of a UI UX designer. If you are working in an agency where they design, the day you do a day in the life of a designer is when you've lost your job. So the only one you can do is a day in the life of the designer who just lost their job. Okay? If you work with these SaaS companies, you are more likely to have more time, right? You are more likely to have more time. Also, if you are looking for a remote job, the best people that give remote jobs are SaaS companies. Are you getting it? B2B companies and also B2C companies. They are more likely to give you a remote job than every other one. Okay? So what are their business goals? For most B2B companies, they want to streamline business processes and workflows. Take note of this. Streamlining business processes and workflows. Now, for instance, you can build softwares to do this, and you don't even need to go too far. You might go to a printing shop. And you find out that most printing shops, if there's one thing I noticed, because I've worked with a printing firm, if there's one thing I've noticed is they are looking for a way to make sure that the people working there don't steal plenty money. Because it's hard to keep up with inventories in a printing shop. In fact, when I was working in a printing shop, there was this staff. Oh my God, this is funny saying it online. This staff, when we don't buy paper for printing, as we buy, the guy they sell them. We feel buy like maybe 20 cartons, maybe 100 cartons for projects. The guy don't remove like three quarter from. You'll be looking at the carton, it's still 100 cartons, but you don't remove small. Before you know, you don't remove like 2 cartons, go resell back. Eh? The time we finally catch am na the time wey carry something called toner. That's the ink of the printer. We don't buy plenty put. Before we print. They say toner don't finish. We go, oh, bring toner, and they say don't finish for store. Hey, that was when we had to watch CCTV because at that point we now saw this guy. He was doing cool business, and that was why he was not even bothered about salary. Even when month finish, if they are still saying salary, early money don't come up. What concern with salary? So if you can design something around to help manage with the business process and workflows to reduce maybe all those thefts, sometimes people will print, they'll print 100 copies and they tell us that now 50, and they'll go to print and wipe it. So B2B businesses, these are some of the business goals they have: enhancing collaboration and communication between businesses, provide scalable solutions to meet enterprise needs, improve proficiency and reduce operational costs. These are places you see more work that are enjoyable. For instance, now, government ministries. If you go to a lot of government ministries, a lot of them still do things manually. Now, if you have someone that has long leg in some of those ministries, don't go and be begging for money, for crying out loud. Rich people don't like people that beg money. Imagine your cousin, Zainab, if you are related to Buhari, what you can do, look for a ministry and see how you can design something to, to arrange their processes. If they have been doing a lot of things manually, find a way to automate it. Then you sell that automation. You take it to Buhari and show Buhari. Buhari will speak to Tinubu, and that ministry will start it. And you make more money from that than asking Buhari to dash you money. Even Buhari will tire for you at the point. Are you getting it? Oh my God. So what are some of the business goals for B2C company? Their own is to drive product sales and revenue. Okay. B2C companies, they are direct to consumers. They are the one building for consumers directly. So can you design any product that can help people direct sales and revenue or collect leads? Are you getting it? Enhance brand visibility and recognition, personalize user experience to increase satisfaction and loyalty, expand market share and outperform competitors. There are some product people have designed, and what you can use the product for is you log in, you can use it to monitor your competitors. These are products that businesses want. So when we say solving problems, these are some of the problems you could solve. You could design a product that businesses can use to monitor their competitors. It will be monitoring their competitors' traffic, where the traffic is coming from. Are you getting it? By the way, there are apps that do that already. So when you are doing like your market research, there are websites you go to. The website will tell you, okay, this is your company, this is how many visitors they are getting every month, and this is where they are coming from. You might find out that, most of their visitors are coming from Facebook. That means they are not advertising so much on YouTube. With that insight, you focus your marketing on YouTube. And if you do YouTube, work, you come and join them back on Facebook. It's not by force. That time you probably don't learn. Oh, no wonder I know they do for YouTube. Okay. So these are some of the problems and some of the type of products you are likely going to work on. Now, understanding this business goal and some of their problems and challenges will help you design better. Okay. So for challenges on B2B, you have B2B products may lack user friendliness. Their product may struggle with scalability. It might decision making in processes in B2B versus B2C purchases, varied marketing strategies for targeting of businesses versus consumers. For solution, balance functionality with user experience in B2B products, provide scalability and customization options in B2C, tailor sales strategies to match decision making, develop targeted marketing campaigns for each segment. So, okay, I think that's the end. This one is just a run through. That's the intersection between business and design. And I've actually said most of these things, okay? The business aspect of design refers to the integration of business principles into design process to achieve strategic objectives. Design decisions play a crucial role in shaping brand identity, I've already explained this while explaining all those ones. So like I told you, market analysis, competitive analysis, target audience identification, branding and positioning, return and investment. So these are case studies and examples. Okay, like I've mentioned earlier, example case study might be website redesign for improved user experience. Don't just say website redesign, or don't just say I redesign UBA app. And so what? Now I'm the first person who sent you. Okay, instead you might say I redesigned UBA app for improved user experience. Okay, always match it with business goals. Now you might say I redesigned or rebranded the UBA app to target new demographic, right? You might say you design incorporating sustainable. Maybe you said you might say you design this app to incorporate sustainable design practices. That is how you should go. Okay. So that's all for today. Any question? So like I said, effective communication is essential for conveying the business value, blah, blah, blah. Use data-driven insight. Very important. Crafting compelling narrative that illustrate the potential impact of business outcomes. Utilize visual aids such as prototypes, mock-up, blah, blah, blah. And yeah. Abaseba, any question? What's your question? We are done. So if you're on YouTube Live, thanks for joining. We are done and we'll be closing right away. Okay? Abaseba. What's your question?
First of all, I would love to maybe if you can get a copy of this, then we can so that you can still go through it. That's number one. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear you.
My question is, since we are not just learning this UI yet, just to really learn UI, we also need to incorporate business goal. And how we can sell ourselves. I would love you if you can, give us a guide on how to send cold email to customers, because if we get to a particular website we want to maybe work with or something, we need to send cold email. So I would love to like if you can help us with this kind of format that works best. Thank you.
Email format for sending what?
Hello.
Yeah, you said you need email format for what?
Hello.
I can hear you. Email format for what?
So I think what it is saying is when you are looking for a job and you actually get some company that you want, like if you want to send a cold email to them about the kind of things you do or something like that. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Okay, we can always help you with that. Let me go offline now on YouTube. So I think we're done. Stop streaming. So like I said, we can always help you with that. What I don't like doing